communications team for Charlotte Water. Today, this is the South End Water Main Project monthly virtual meeting. Thanks everyone for attending. Just a few housekeeping items. This meeting will be recorded and posted on our website, which will be flashing on the screen later today. That way you're able to reference it or share it with anyone who needs this information. And then in addition, we'll be doing our question and answer session at the end of the presentation, but please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A box on the right-hand side of the screen all throughout the presentation, and then we'll address those at the end. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce Chuck, and he's going to take over from here.
Thanks, Katie. Hi, my name is Chuck Bliss, and I'm in the engineering division at Charlotte Water, and we're here to give you an update on the South Boulevard or South End Water Main project we have under construction. So agenda is we're going to go over kind of the status of where we are with the project, what's coming up, some alternative routes for traffic, and any other topics that any attendees want to bring up. So where we are to date is, we've done a lot of work thus far and completed installation of the new water main testing and chlorination between Scaly Bark and Greystone Road. And all those customers between Scaly Bark and Greystone are now on the new water main. So what's coming up is the barrier wall starting Monday, this coming Monday. The barrier wall will be moved up to the next phase of the project, what we call phase 5. And that's between Greystone Road and Elmhurst. So this is going to have an impact on the Marsh Road and South Boulevard intersection. So there'll only be limited traffic movement at those intersections. But the intersections at Greystone and South Boulevard and Poindexter and South Boulevard will remain open. We expect this phase of the work to take approximately 14 weeks. So again, traffic at the intersection of Marsh and South Boulevard will be impacted. Basically, it'll be right turns only. So if you're traveling southbound on South Boulevard, you can turn right onto New Bern, but there will be no left turn to Marsh Road or Elmhurst Road. And if you're traveling northbound on South Boulevard, there will be no left turn onto New Bern and right turn only onto Marsh and Elmhurst. We really encourage folks to find alternative routes to the South Boulevard corridor. As everybody knows, it's a high traffic area, and a lot more people probably returning to work in this time frame that we're going to be doing this phase of work. So traffic on South Boulevard will probably only continue to increase. South Tryon Street, I-77 are certainly other options that work just as well as South Boulevard. And of course, we'd all encourage people to ride the Lynx light rail if possible. And that's really all we have this month for an update. And if there's any questions, Katie will field those.
Thank you, Chuck. It looks like we have 2 questions so far. The first question is, what are the best and worst case timeframes for how long the barrier wall will be in front of Chick-fil-A?
Well, that 14 weeks is our best approximation at this point of that duration. The barrier wall will be in that position between Greystone and Elmhurst for that entire 14-week period.
Okay, great. And it looks like they're asking if you have any input on what the chances are of phase 5 to go any faster than 14 weeks, but I believe you kind of answered that in your last
Well, of course, all this construction is, highly weather dependent, so if it stays warm and dry like it has been the last few weeks, then, progress will move along hopefully at a much faster pace. But currently our contractor expects that to be 14-week duration.
Great. The next question, someone's asking, are there dates versus weeks approximations? Have we put any dates to the timeline?
Oh, well, the 14 weeks would start on Monday, the May 24th. And let's see, we've got June, July, and into August or so. Early August, mid-August, somewhere in there.
Great.
And Katie, I actually just got in touch with Steve and with RH Price, and he's handling the construction. And in regards to the chances of phase 5 lasts longer than 14 weeks, he said it'll be 3 months at best for the barrier wall, and then 4 months, is the longest.
Okay, so 12 to 16 weeks, perhaps.
Correct. Thank you.
Great, thanks for the clarification. Okay, let's see. I'll give a minute if there's any other questions. Here's the next question. The next stage after this is Poindexter, and to what is the next cross street after Poindexter?
So I will defer to Steve or Rob for.
Great.
What's the next phase, Steve?
Next phase will be across Poindexter, but we'll stop just short of Remount. So we'll close Poindexter, Remount, and Marsh will be open.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, it looks like there's another question. Someone's wondering if we can address, they were expecting 10 weeks for phase 5, and I don't know if there's any more information we can give on kind of the timeline.
10 weeks? We've been just said, 12 to 16 weeks for phase 5. I'm not sure, does that answer the question?
I think the attendee is mentioning this in relation to maybe some previous communications that had gone out, maybe when the timeline wasn't as finalized as it is now.
Okay.
I don't know if some variables changed there.
I don't know if
we're able to take note of all of you that are attending, and we can follow up one-on-one with some of your questions as well, and make sure specifics are communicated, and making sure no one else has any questions for sure.
Okay.
Any other questions? Doesn't look like it.
So just a reminder for folks that the best way to access information about this project is shown on the screen there. It's charlotteswm.com, or you can get text updates from South End Water at 3199. Is that 6? I guess that is.
Yes, exactly. Those are great ways to kind of stay up to date with the project. We send out alerts quite often, just keeping people in the loop. And then for specific questions, you can always contact the project team at info@charlotteswm.com.
Will Rice is our project manager on this project. Will just happens to be on vacation this week. but he's readily available to answer questions. There's his contact information or the other additional information from Charlotte Water. And also Keith Hunter is in the construction inspector we have out on the project site. And there's Keith's contact information.
And that concludes our presentation this month. Again, please feel free to always contact the project team at any time. We're happy to answer questions or any concerns you have. And this presentation will be posted on the website for future reference. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Katie.